Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me today. The world is loud. The world is chaotic. Every day there is someone shouting for your attention, someone trying to drag you into their drama, someone trying to distract you from the path you were born to walk. But I'm here to tell you something powerful. Your life is not about the noise, it's about your growth. Growth is not loud. Growth does not ask for applause. Growth is patient, steady, and relentless. It works quietly behind the scenes. While the world argues and complains, growth is preparing you for the moments that will define your life. The noise will try to confuse you. The critics will try to discourage you. The distractions will attempt to derail you. But if you focus on your growth, nothing can touch your progress. Every day, someone will try to tell you who you are, what you can do, or how far you can go. And if you listen to the noise, you will always be stuck in their limited vision of you. But when you focus on your growth, you begin to see the truth. Your potential is unlimited. Your purpose is bigger than their opinions. Your future is brighter than their doubts. Focus on learning. Focus on improving. Focus on building yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Let the noise be just that, noise. The opinions of others pass through your ears without lodging in your mind. Protect your energy, guard your heart, nourish your soul. Every step you take in silence is a step toward greatness. Growth takes time, growth takes effort, growth takes faith. You cannot control the world, but you can control your response. You cannot silence the noise outside, but you can strengthen the voice inside. And when the noise fades, when the chaos settles, when the world finally looks and asks, how did they do it? Your growth will answer louder than any words ever could. So I tell you today, do not waste your energy on the things that don't serve you. Do not chase attention. Do not get pulled into petty arguments. Do not let temporary distractions steal permanent progress. Focus on your growth. Water it. Feed it, protect it. And watch as your life transforms in ways that the noise will never understand. The world may never celebrate you the way it should. That is not your business. Your business is to grow. Your business is to rise. Your business is to fulfill the destiny written in your soul. Keep your eyes on your purpose and let everything else fade away. 2026 is your year to grow in silence, to rise in power, and to shine in results. Focus on your growth, not the noise. There is a sound in the world today. It is loud. It is relentless. It is everywhere you turn. The world is filled with people shouting for your attention, people eager to tell you what you should do, how you should feel, and who you should become. Every day, there is a new distraction, a new controversy, a new voice demanding that you stop, that you doubt yourself, that you question your path. And if you are not careful, you will listen. If you are not vigilant, you will be consumed. But I am here to tell you, ignore the noise. Ignore the noise that says you are not enough. Ignore the noise that says you are too small, too slow, too late. Ignore the noise that says you cannot rise above your circumstances, that the world has already decided your fate. That noise is a lie. That noise is not the truth of who you are or the destiny that is waiting for you. That noise is meant to distract you, to keep you small, to rob you of your power. But you, my friend, were never meant to live your life listening to the doubts of others. You were meant to live listening to the voice inside of you, the voice of your purpose, the voice of your potential, the voice that whispers, even in the midst of chaos, that you were created for greatness. Ignoring the noise does not mean ignoring reality. It does not mean that you close your eyes to challenges or difficulties. No, ignoring the noise means understanding the difference between what matters and what does not. It means knowing that the criticisms, the gossip, the drama, the endless arguing in the world around you, none of it has the power to define your worth or your path unless you give it that power. It is a choice to rise above, a choice to stay focused, a choice to protect the energy of your life for the things that truly matter. The noise comes in many forms. Sometimes it is external, people who are jealous, people who are bitter, people who do not understand your vision. Sometimes it is internal, doubts that creep in, fears that whisper lies in your ear, memories that remind you of past failures. Both are dangerous. Both will try to convince you that your goals are too high, your dreams are impossible, your life is insignificant. But here is the truth: the noise is temporary. The vision inside of you is eternal. The growth you are building today is permanent. And every time you ignore the noise, you take a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Let me tell you something: when you begin to ignore the noise, you will feel uncomfortable. You will feel restless. People will notice you stepping away. They will ask why you are no longer engaging in every argument, why you are no longer responding to every insult, why you are no longer drawn into the chaos. And the answer is simple. You are too busy building something greater. You are too busy tending the garden of your soul, watering the seeds of your destiny, and preparing yourself for the breakthroughs that are coming. You cannot allow someone else's noise to steal your focus. You cannot allow their opinions to disrupt your rhythm. You cannot allow their fear to dictate your faith. Ignoring the noise requires discipline, requires strength. It requires a willingness to say no to the things that do not serve your purpose. It means turning off the voices that tell you to compare yourself, to compete with others, to conform to their expectations. It means finding the courage to stand alone if you must, to walk in silence, to let your progress speak louder than words ever could. For when you ignore the noise, you open yourself to clarity, you open yourself to growth. You open yourself to the voice of God or the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, guiding you to the life you were born to live. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was made by someone who ignored the noise. The inventors, the leaders, the visionaries, they all heard the voices that said, "You cannot." And yet they chose to focus on the work that mattered. They chose to invest in their own growth, to trust their own instincts, to walk the path that others could not see. And because they ignored the noise, the world eventually heard their results. Because they ignored the noise, the world eventually understood their power. And because they ignored the noise, their names were etched in history. Ignoring the noise is not just about achieving greatness. It is about protecting yourself. It is about finding peace in a world that is always trying to steal it. It is about understanding that your value does not come from validation, likes, shares, or applause. Your value comes from the work you do in private, the discipline you maintain when no one is watching, the faith you hold when it feels like everything is against you. When you ignore the noise, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your focus. You reclaim your life. So how do you ignore the noise? You start by recognizing it. Pay attention to the things that steal your attention unnecessarily. Pay attention to the words that plant doubt in your mind. Pay attention to the distractions that keep you from moving forward. Then you make a decision. I will not let these things control me. I will not give them my energy. I will not allow them to stop my progress. You replace the noise with the sound of growth, the sound of learning, of creating, of planning, of executing, of praying, of working, of becoming. Every time you choose growth over noise, you win a victory that no one else can see, but everyone will eventually feel. And remember this: ignoring the noise is not permanent. The world will always have opinions. There will always be distractions. There will always be people trying to pull you into conflict or despair. But every time you make the choice to ignore it, every time you make the choice to focus on your growth, you build resilience. You build discipline. You build a life that cannot be shaken by the chaos outside. You build a spirit that cannot be silenced by the voices of doubt. Today, I challenge you: start ignoring the noise. Begin small if you must. Turn off the notifications. Walk away from the arguments. Stop consuming the negative energy that does nothing for your soul. Fill your mind with vision. Fill your heart with purpose. Fill your time with action that moves you toward your goals. And watch as, in the silence, your life begins to transform. Watch as doors open that were invisible when you were listening to the noise. Watch as people begin to recognize the power in you. Not because you shouted, because you competed, not because you proved them wrong, but because your growth was undeniable. So I say it again: ignore the noise. Focus on what matters. Protect your peace, guard your purpose, tend to your growth, and trust that the life you are building in silence will speak so loudly that the noise will have no choice but to fade away. The world will always be loud. always try to distract you. But you were not created for noise. You were created for greatness. You were created to rise above. You were created to grow in silence, to shine in results, and to fulfill a destiny that cannot be dictated by anyone else. Ignore the noise. Focus on your growth. And watch as your life becomes a testimony that words alone could never capture. I want you to hear me today. There's a misunderstanding in the world about what it takes to grow, to succeed, to become the person you were born to be. Many people believe that growth is loud. They believe that growth demands recognition at every step. They believe that growth is immediate, explosive, and flashy. I'm here to tell you something far greater, far true growth is quiet and steady. Yes, quiet and steady, not dramatic, not instant, not always visible to the naked eye. Growth is not the applause you get when you make a big announcement. Growth is not the viral moment on social media. Growth is the work that no one sees. Growth is the discipline in the early morning hours when the world is still asleep. Growth is the persistence in the late nights when doubt whispers lies into your ear. Growth is the choice to keep moving forward step by step, day by day, even when no one is watching, even when it feels like nothing is happening. You see, the world is obsessed with speed, with spectacle, with immediate results. And so many people give up too soon, thinking that because they are not recognized, because no one applauds their efforts, because progress is slow, they are failing. But listen closely, slow progress is still progress. A seed does not sprout overnight. A tree does not grow to its full height in a single season. Water does not carve a canyon in an instant. Everything in nature grows quietly, steadily, persistently, and so must we. Growth is quiet because it happens within. It is the refinement of character, the strengthening of faith, the sharpening of skills, the deepening of understanding. It is in the moments when no one else is around to witness your effort. It is in the choices you make when it would be easier to quit. It is in the discipline you maintain when no one is monitoring your work. The loudest moments, moments that everyone sees, are only the result of quiet, steady labor that has been accumulating for months, for years, for decades. Let me remind you, growth is steady. It does not rush. It does not panic. It does not try to imitate someone else's journey. Steady growth understands timing. Steady growth knows that each stage of life has its purpose. Steady growth knows that your season of preparation is as important as your season of success. You cannot skip the steps. You cannot force the process, and you cannot expect instant recognition. Steady growth is patient. Steady growth is faithful. Steady growth trusts that the small things you do today are laying the foundation for the victories of tomorrow. And here is the challenge. In a world obsessed with immediate gratification, it is easy to get discouraged. It is easy to compare yourself to those who seem to be rising faster, achieving more, receiving more attention. But comparison is the enemy of quiet growth. Comparison blinds you to the progress you are making. Comparison convinces you that your journey is too slow, when in fact it is exactly the right pace for you. Each step you take, each decision you make, each lesson you learn adds to your strength even if no one else notices. The world may be impatient, but growth is timeless. Quiet growth also builds resilience. When you are focused on steady progress, you are not dependent on applause or approval. You are not distracted by criticism or doubt. You are not swayed by the highs and lows of public opinion. Instead, you are building a foundation so strong that no storm can shake it. You are cultivating a character so solid that obstacles cannot defeat it. You are developing skills so refined that opportunities can recognize them instantly. Quiet growth teaches you to trust the process, to trust yourself, and to trust that your time will come. Consider this: every great person you admire started quietly. Every legendary leader, every revolutionary inventor, every influential thinker, every celebrated entrepreneur, they all began in silence. They began when no one was watching, when the world did not believe in them. The odds seemed insurmountable. They grew quietly, they grew steadily. And when the world finally noticed, it seemed sudden, but in reality, it had been decades in the making. Their growth was never flashy, it was consistent. It was disciplined, it was patient, it was quiet, and it was steady. The beauty of quiet, steady growth is that it is sustainable. Flashy, loud efforts may bring temporary attention, but they rarely create lasting change. Only steady effort, built over time, creates results that endure. When you focus on cultivating yourself, nurturing your talents, strengthening your mind, and refining your spirit, you are planting seeds that will grow into trees, trees that will provide shade, nourishment, and inspiration for generations to come. You are investing in a future that cannot be taken away, no matter what the world says or does. Growth is quiet and steady because it requires humility, requires the willingness to do what is necessary without expecting immediate reward. It requires the courage to face your weaknesses and the discipline to work on them daily. It requires the patience to accept that not every step will be glamorous, not every effort will be recognized, and not every moment will feel significant. In that quiet work lies the power that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Do not despise the quiet moments. Do not underestimate the steady steps. Do not dismiss the days when it feels like nothing is happening. Those are the days that are building your strength. Those are the days that are teaching you endurance. Those are the days that are preparing you for the breakthroughs that will seem miraculous, are really the natural result of your patient, consistent labor. I want you to take this message with you. Embrace the quiet. Embrace the steady. Embrace the process. Do not be distracted by those who are loud, those who rush, those who boast. Let them chase recognition while you chase mastery. Let them seek applause while you seek excellence. Let them be concerned with the spotlight while you build the substance that will shine regardless of attention. Quiet, steady growth is the path to greatness because it is unshakable, it is lasting, and it is true. So today, decide to honor your journey. Decide to respect your pace. Decide to focus on building yourself quietly and steadily. Water your mind with knowledge. Nourish your spirit with faith. Strengthen your body with discipline. Refine your skills with consistent practice. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that every quiet effort you make today is creating the results that will define your tomorrow. Remember, the loudest successes are the product of quiet. Steady work, the strongest character is built in silence. The greatest victories are won in patience, in persistence, in faith, and in consistency. Growth is quiet. Growth is steady. Growth is unstoppable when it is nurtured with care, discipline, and focus. I want you to hear me today. There's a voice in this world that is louder than your dreams, sharper than your ambition, and more persistent than your desire to grow. That voice is the voice of critics. And if you are not careful, that voice can drown out the very calling that was placed inside of you. But I am here to tell you something powerful. Do not listen to critics. Critics will always exist. They are everywhere. They appear in every season of your life. Some are close to you, disguised as friends or family. Some are strangers who will speak words meant to cut, to discourage, to diminish your spirit. Some critics live in your own mind, whispering doubts, questioning your worth, and convincing you that your vision is impossible. And if you take them seriously, if you give them power over your heart, you will find yourself trapped in a life that is smaller than your potential. Critics thrive on distraction. Critics want you to focus on them instead of your purpose. Critics want you to stumble over their words, to be paralyzed by their judgment, to bend under the weight of their negativity. But here is the truth. Critics do not create your destiny. Critics do not determine your worth. Critics do not know the strength that resides within you, the dreams that are burning inside you, or the capacity you have to rise above every obstacle. The only voice that matters, the one that guides you forward, that pushes you to be better, that refuses to let fear dictate your life. Do not let the criticism of others define you. Do not let the negative opinions of the world convince you that your goals are too ambitious, your plans too bold, or your vision too impossible. History is filled with people who were criticized, ridiculed, and dismissed. They were told they would fail, told they were too small, told they were not enough, and yet those very people who refused to bow to the judgment of critics changed the world. Their success was born in the silence of their resolve, in the determination to keep moving forward no matter what others said. Critics will test your faith. They will try to convince you that your ideas are foolish, that your efforts are meaningless, that your dreams are unattainable. The moment you start listening, you will begin to doubt yourself. You will begin to question whether your hard work is worth it. You will begin to measure yourself by the standards of people who do not understand your journey. But let me remind you, critics speak from fear. Critics speak from limitation. Critics speak from what they themselves cannot achieve. Their words are not a reflection of your ability. They are a reflection of their insecurity. You must learn to rise above it. You must learn to focus on your path, to strengthen your spirit, and to cultivate your confidence so deeply that no voice of judgment can shake it. When a critic speaks, acknowledge it, but do not internalize it. Listen if there is wisdom, but do not accept bitterness as truth. Protect your heart, guard your mind, and remember that you are building something far greater than the opinions of those who cannot see your vision. Do not mistake criticism for reality. Criticism is often subjective, influenced by the critic's perspective, limitations, and fears. They are judging what they do not understand. They are condemning what they cannot imagine. They are warning you about their own inability, not yours. And yet, far too many people allow criticism to become a chain around their potential, a chain that keeps them from taking risks, from pursuing dreams, from stepping into the greatness that is theirs by design. Break free from that chain. Walk boldly in the path that calls you, even when the critics shout. Critics can also be disguised as advice. Some critics offer feedback that feels helpful, but is actually rooted in their own experience, limitations, or bias. It is important to discern between criticism that is constructive and criticism that is destructive. True guidance uplifts, clarifies, and inspires action. False criticism tears down, instills doubt, and paralyzes. Learn to separate the two. Trust your intuition, trust your preparation, trust your journey. And when in doubt, choose the path that honors your growth, not the path that appeases the critics. The greatest victories in life are achieved by those who refuse to let criticism stop them. Think about the innovators, the artists, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the visionaries. They were criticized relentlessly. They were told more times than they could count. They faced rejection after rejection, skepticism after skepticism, doubt after doubt, and yet they persevered. Why? Because they understood one critical truth. Critics can speak, but critics cannot act for you. Critics can point fingers, but critics cannot walk in your shoes. Critics can judge, but critics cannot determine your destiny. You must learn to listen to yourself above all else. Cultivate a voice inside you that is louder than any critic outside you. Strengthen your confidence through preparation, learning, and discipline. Build resilience by facing challenges and refusing to be shaken. Nourish your spirit with faith, hope, and purpose. And as you grow stronger internally, the noise of critics will fade into the background, becoming nothing more than a whisper that cannot influence your path. Remember this, every word of criticism you face is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to prove them wrong, to refine your work, to strengthen your resolve. Demonstrate your faith in yourself. Do not curse the critics. Do not fear them. Use their words as fuel. Let them sharpen your focus. Never let them define your identity or your destiny. Your life is too precious, your purpose too significant, potential too great to be dictated by the judgments of others. And finally, understand this truth. Only approval you need is your own and the approval of the power that placed your dreams in your heart. When you walk faithfully, work diligently, and grow relentlessly, the critics' opinions will become irrelevant. You will achieve not because the world validates you, because your commitment to your purpose validates you. Your results will speak louder than any words. Your life will become a testimony that criticism could not stop, and your legacy will remind others that the voices of doubt were never the voices that mattered. So I say to you today, do not listen to critics. Do not allow negativity to infiltrate your mind. Do not let fear disguised as advice dictate your path. Walk boldly, work diligently, build patiently, pray fervently, and rise relentlessly. For every critic you encounter, there is a greater reward waiting for those who refuse to be stopped. The critics will talk. They will shout. They will attempt to distract you from your destiny. When you keep moving forward, when you remain focused, when you trust your journey, you will realize that the critics were never your obstacle. They were your signal. They were your test. They were your opportunity to rise above, to prove your own strength, and to embrace the life you were created to live. I want you to hear me today. In a world that never stops talking, a world that constantly demands your attention, a world that is obsessed with comparison, it is easy to lose yourself. It is easy to become distracted by the opinions of others, pulled into drama, consumed by what everyone else is doing, or trapped by the expectations of society. But I am here to tell you something that could change your life. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity. Focus on yourself, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you were created to fulfill a destiny that no one else can live for you. Focus on yourself because your energy is precious, your time is limited, and your potential is far too great to waste on things that do not serve your growth. The world will always have distractions. There will always be voices trying to pull you away from your purpose. There will always be people attempting to define who you are, what you should do, and how far you can go. And if you are not careful, you will listen. You will measure your life by their standards. You will chase validation that will never satisfy. But the moment you turn your attention inward, the moment you focus on yourself, you begin to reclaim your power. You begin to take control of your life. You begin to nurture the person you were created to be. Focusing on yourself does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It does not mean ignoring others. It does not mean turning away from love, community, or responsibility. No, it means prioritizing your growth, your health, your mind, your spirit, and your goals above distractions, doubts, and drama. Means setting boundaries with those who drain you, turning away from negativity, and refusing to engage in battles that are not yours to fight. It means understanding that your first responsibility is to yourself so that you can show up fully for everything else in your life. When you focus on yourself, you invest in your growth. You learn, you reflect, you strengthen, you challenge yourself to become the best version of who you are. You develop skills, cultivate wisdom, and nurture your spirit. You take care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. You seek clarity in your purpose and align your actions with your values. This is how greatness is built, not in the chaos of distraction, in the approval of others, but in the quiet, deliberate work of self-mastery. Focusing on yourself also means learning to ignore the noise. It means refusing to be drawn into unnecessary arguments, futile comparisons, and meaningless drama. It means letting go of resentment, jealousy, and envy, because these emotions only steal your energy and slow your progress. The truth is, other people's journeys, opinions, and lives are not your responsibility. You were not placed on this earth to prove yourself to anyone. You were placed on this earth to grow, to thrive, and to fulfill your purpose. And here is something many people forget. Focusing on yourself requires discipline. It is not easy. It is not always comfortable. The world wants you to look outward, to seek attention, to measure success by external recognition. But inward focus is challenging. It demands patience, demands courage. It demands that you confront your weaknesses, face your fears, and overcome the habits that have been holding you back. It requires that you prioritize what matters over what is urgent, what is true over what is popular, and what builds you over what distracts you. When you focus on yourself, you also create resilience. You build a foundation that is unshakable by the opinions of others. You develop a clarity of vision that cannot be clouded by the chaos around you. You cultivate confidence that is rooted not in approval, but in knowledge, preparation, and self-belief. You learn to trust your instincts, honor your journey, and walk boldly in the direction of your dreams. When you focus on yourself, the storms of life may still come, but you will stand firm, unmovable, because you have invested in the strongest version of yourself. Focusing on yourself also opens the door to freedom. Freedom from the need to please, freedom from the pressure to conform, freedom from the expectations that have never been yours to carry. When you focus on yourself, you release the weight of comparison and embrace the power of authenticity. You stop living to satisfy others and start living to honor your own potential. You begin to make choices that align with your values, not with what society, friends, or family dictate. You start building a life that is yours, not a life borrowed from the expectations of others. And let me remind you, focusing on yourself is not a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment. It is a practice. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice. Will you allow the noise of the world to pull you away, or will you center yourself, reflect, plan, and act in alignment with your purpose? Every decision you make, every interaction you have, every thought you entertain is an opportunity to either focus on yourself or get lost in distraction. Choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose yourself. Focusing on yourself does not mean ignoring love, relationships, or community. On the contrary, it strengthens your capacity to give to others. You nurture yourself, you can pour into those around you without depletion. When you cultivate your mind, you can offer wisdom. When you tend to your spirit, you can offer encouragement. When you develop your gifts, you can create opportunities. Self-focus is not selfish. It is preparation. It is readiness. It is the fuel that allows you to live fully and impact profoundly. The world may not understand your focus. People may call you self-centered, ambitious, or distant. They may not see the work you are doing internally. They may not witness the battles you fight in silence or the sacrifices you make behind closed doors. And that is okay. The only person who needs to understand your journey is you. The only voice that matters is the one inside you, guiding you toward your purpose, encouraging you to keep going, reminding you that every step you take is building the life you are meant to live. So I say to you today, focus on yourself. Prioritize your growth, your health, your dreams, and your purpose. Ignore the distractions. Ignore the judgments. Ignore the noise. Protect your energy, your time, and your attention. Commit to becoming the best version of yourself every single day, no matter how small the progress may seem. Because these small, deliberate steps taken consistently will transform your life. Remember, the world will always demand something from you. People will always have opinions, criticisms, and expectations. But when you focus on yourself, you reclaim your power, you reclaim your time, you reclaim your destiny. And the life you create, built from intentional focus and self-mastery, will be unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. Focus on yourself, because your life is too precious, your purpose too great, and your potential too vast to waste on anything less. Focus on yourself and watch as your growth becomes undeniable, your strength becomes visible, and your life becomes the testimony that you were always meant to be. I want you to hear me clearly today. There is a force in this world that is more precious than time, more valuable than money, and more essential to your success than any skill you can acquire. That force is your energy. And I am here to tell you something that too many people forget. Protect your energy. Your energy is not unlimited. Your mind, your body, your spirit all have boundaries. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you nurture, every interaction you engage in either builds you up or tears you down. Your energy is your most valuable asset, yet so many people spend it carelessly, giving it away to distractions, drama, negativity, and people who have no intention of seeing you thrive. But your energy is sacred. It is powerful. Fuels your growth, your focus, your ambition, and your purpose. Protect it at all costs. The world is designed to steal your energy. There will always be people trying to provoke you, to distract you, to pull you into battles that are not yours. There will always be situations that demand more from you than you are willing to give. And there will always be thoughts that threaten to drain your peace, your confidence, and your focus. But when you learn to protect your energy, you learn to control your life. You learn to decide what deserves your attention, what deserves your effort, and what deserves your presence. Protecting your energy starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They are the fences you build to safeguard your mind and your spirit from intrusion. Boundaries tell the world, I will not allow negativity to consume me, not allow chaos to define me. I will not allow someone else's fears, doubts, insecurities to become my burden. Boundaries are the way you honor your purpose. They are the way you safeguard your focus. They are the way you preserve the very essence of who you are. Many people fail to protect their energy because they feel obligated. They feel obligated to respond to every call, answer every text, settle every dispute, or defend themselves against every criticism. But the truth is, you are not required to exhaust your energy for the sake of others' comfort. You are not required to fix every problem, carry every weight, validate every opinion. The moment you start giving your energy indiscriminately, you start losing yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot shine when your light has been drained by people and situations that do not serve you. Protect your energy first, and everything else will follow. Protecting your energy also requires discernment. Not every opportunity, not every relationship, not every situation is worth your investment. Some people will bring chaos where there should be calm. Some situations will drain your joy instead of enhancing it. Some opportunities will distract you from your true purpose. Discernment allows you to recognize what is worth your attention and what is not. It allows you to say no without guilt, to walk away without regret, and to invest in what actually moves you forward. Protecting your energy is about choosing wisely where you spend yourself, because every ounce of energy you give away is energy you cannot use to build the life you were meant to live. Energy is also protected by mindset. The thoughts you choose to nurture are either a source of strength or a source of depletion. Worry, fear, anger, and resentment consume your energy silently, while faith, hope, gratitude, and clarity multiply it. Protect your energy by guarding your mind. Do not allow doubts to dictate your actions. Do not allow negativity to shape your emotions. Do not allow the world to convince you that your energy is limitless. Recognize that every thought matters, every choice matters, and every focus matters. Protecting your energy starts in the mind and then flows into every area of your life. And let me remind you, protecting your energy is a daily practice, not a one-time decision. Each morning you wake up, you make a choice. Will you start your day feeding into negativity, gossip, conflict, and distraction, or will you start your day centering yourself, focusing on your purpose and prioritizing your peace? Every decision you make, every conversation you engage in, every thought you entertain either protects or depletes your energy. Protecting your energy requires vigilance, intentionality, and courage. Requires that you choose wisely again and again, even when the world expects you to give it all away. Protecting your energy also means protecting your time. Time is energy, and every wasted hour is energy lost forever. Do not allow your calendar to be filled with obligations that do not serve you. Do not spend hours entertaining people who drain you. Do not engage in conversations or situations that leave you exhausted and empty. Time spent wisely is energy preserved. Time spent poorly is energy squandered. Protect your energy by protecting your time, because how you spend your minutes determines the power you have in your days. You must also protect your energy by protecting your peace. Peace is the foundation of focus, creativity, and clarity. When your mind is distracted by conflict, chaos, or toxicity, your energy is divided, diluted, weakened. The more you protect your peace, the more powerful you become. Protecting your peace means walking away from arguments that serve no purpose. It means refusing to engage in gossip. It means not absorbing the fears, doubts, and anxieties of those around you. Protect your peace. Your energy will become unstoppable. And remember this, the people you allow into your life affect your energy. Surround yourself with those who uplift, inspire, challenge, and support you. Distance yourself from those who drain, complain, criticize, or sabotage. Your energy is contagious. What you absorb from others shapes who you become. Protecting your energy means curating your environment, choosing carefully who you spend time with, and refusing to allow negativity to take root in your life. Protecting your energy is not always easy. It requires courage. It requires self-awareness. It requires discipline. But the reward is immeasurable. When you protect your energy, you become unstoppable. You become focused, you become clear, you become a force that cannot be distracted, defeated, or diminished by the chaos of the world. Your energy becomes a source of power, resilience, creativity, and joy. So I say it to you today. Protect your energy, guard your mind, guard your heart, guard your time, guard your peace, set boundaries, walk away from toxicity, choose wisely where you invest yourself. Prioritize your growth, prioritize your purpose, and understand that your energy is the most valuable asset you have, the asset that fuels your dreams, your vision, and your life. Protect it. Protect it fiercely. Protect it intentionally. Protect it consistently. And watch as your life transforms in ways that distraction, drama, and chaos could never allow. Protect your energy, and you will find focus, strength, peace, and fulfillment beyond what you have ever imagined. I want you to hear me today. Life will test you. Life will challenge you. Life will push you to your limits and sometimes beyond. And in those moments, you will face a choice. Will you give up? Will you quit? Or will you rise and continue forward? The secret that separates those who succeed from those who fail is simple yet profound. Be patient and persistent. Patience is not weakness. Patience is not laziness. Patience is not a lack of ambition. Patience is power. Patience is the understanding that life has a rhythm, timing that cannot be forced, and a process that cannot be rushed. The things worth having, the dreams worth chasing, the victories worth celebrating are never instant. They are cultivated over time, nurtured with care, and earned through effort. Patience allows you to honor the process, to respect the journey, and to trust that your time will come. Persistence is strength. Persistence is courage. Persistence is refusing to quit even when the road is long, when the progress is slow, and when the results are invisible. Persistence is showing up day after day in faith, in discipline, in focus, and in hope. Persistence is the fuel that transforms potential into reality. Patience becomes passive. But when patience and persistence work together, they create unstoppable momentum. So many people fail because they are impatient. They want results before they are ready. They want success without struggle. They want growth without effort. When the first obstacles appear, they give up, believing the journey is too hard or that the opportunity has passed them by. But the truth is, every delay is preparation, every obstacle is training, and every setback is a lesson. Patience teaches you to endure, to learn, and to grow through the process, while persistence teaches you to continue moving forward even when the outcome is unclear. Think about the seasons in nature. The seed does not become a tree overnight. Rain, sun, soil, and time are all necessary. It is patience that allows the seed to remain underground while it takes root. Persistence that allows it to push through the soil when the conditions are right. The tree grows slowly, steadily, and deliberately, and in time it becomes strong, fruitful, and unshakable. Your life, your dreams, your growth follow the same principle. Be patient in the unseen work, persistent in the effort required. Patience and persistence also cultivate resilience. When you are patient, you do not panic when things take longer than expected. When you are persistent, you do not falter when the path is difficult. Together, they build character, discipline, and faith. They teach you to withstand criticism, rejection, and doubt. They prepare you for the moments when the world seems to be moving against you, when doors remain closed, when opportunities seem delayed. Patience gives you endurance. Persistence gives you momentum. And together they give you victory. Do not be discouraged by the pace of your progress. Progress is rarely linear. Life has seasons, and each season demands a different rhythm. Some days will feel slow, even stagnant. Some months may seem like nothing is happening. But if you remain patient and persistent, you will eventually look back and see how far you have come. The mountain you are climbing may seem insurmountable, but every small step taken with persistence brings you closer to the summit. And patience allows you to climb without losing hope, without giving up, and without despair. Patience and persistence also guard your focus. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, the impatient are easily distracted, discouraged, and derailed. The persistent, however, remain committed to their goals, consistent in their actions, and steadfast in their vision. When you pair patience with persistence, you develop an unshakable discipline that keeps you moving toward your purpose regardless of what others say or do. You learn to endure criticism, to rise above doubt, and to continue working even when the results are not immediate. The most remarkable achievements in life are never the result of a single moment of brilliance or a sudden stroke of luck. They are the product of consistent effort over time, guided by patience and powered by persistence. Every great leader, inventor, entrepreneur, artist, thinker achieved greatness because they refused to quit. They understood that success is a marathon, not a sprint. They understood that setbacks are not the end. They are the steps that prepare you for the breakthroughs that follow. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that you cannot control everything, that timing is beyond your grasp, and that some things must unfold in their own season. Patience teaches you to respect the process, to trust in your own effort, and to remain calm when life does not move according to your timetable. Persistence teaches you to keep showing up, keep working, and keep believing even when the waiting is hard and the results are delayed. Together, patience and persistence allow you to endure without resentment, to strive without frustration, and to grow without desperation. Remember, every journey worth taking requires both patience and persistence. Dreams take time. Relationships take work. Skills take practice. Vision takes refinement. Difference between those who achieve and those who do not is often not talent, opportunity, luck. It is the ability to remain patient when progress is slow and persistent when challenges arise. It is the willingness to keep moving forward. Even when you cannot yet see the finish line, you will face moments of doubt. You will face criticism. You will face delays. You will face failures. If you are patient, you will learn from the delays. If you are persistent, you will rise above the failures. If you combine patience with persistence, you will become unstoppable. You will become unshakable. You will become the person who endures, who rises, and who achieves no matter the obstacles. So I say to you today, commit yourself to patience. Commit yourself to persistence. Trust the timing of your life. Keep taking small, deliberate steps every day towards your goals. Embrace the lessons and setbacks. Celebrate the growth in the process and never, ever give up. Your journey may be long. Your progress may be slow. Your commitment to being patient and persistent will ultimately lead to breakthroughs that feel miraculous, but are truly the result of steadfast effort over time. Be patient, be persistent, let time shape you, let effort refine you, let faith sustain you. And when the results finally come, and they will, you will know that every moment of waiting, every ounce of effort, every challenge overcome was worth it. Your patience and persistence have built a life, a legacy, and a destiny that no one can take away. So today, I challenge you to embrace patience, embrace persistence, walk steadily, work consistently, and trust the process. For those who are patient and persistent are unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. And your life, shaped by these two powerful principles, will become a testimony of strength, endurance, ultimate victory. I want you to hear me today. There is a voice inside of you, a quiet, powerful, persistent voice that speaks truth, wisdom, and guidance, even when the world is shouting. That voice is your inner voice, the compass that points to your purpose, the light that guides you through darkness, the strength that sustains you when everything else feels uncertain. And I am here to tell you something that will change the way you live. Strengthen your inner voice. Strengthening your inner voice is not an option, it is a necessity. In a world filled with distractions, criticisms, constant noise, the inner voice is your anchor. It is the voice that reminds you who you are, what you are capable of, and why you cannot give up. Without a strong inner voice, you will drift, you will waver, and you will surrender your power to every external influence. But when you strengthen it, you become unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. The world will try to drown out your inner voice. It will tell you to conform, to follow the crowd, to accept mediocrity. It will shout, demand, and criticize. It will surround you with opinions that are not yours and expectations that do not belong to you. And if you are not careful, you will listen. You will begin to doubt. You will begin to question your decisions. You will begin to look for validation outside yourself. But let me tell you something, the answers, the guidance, courage you need already exists within you. You must strengthen your inner voice to hear it clearly. Strengthening your inner voice begins with silence. The world will never allow you true focus unless you intentionally create space to hear yourself. Turn off the distractions. Step away from the chaos. Quiet your mind. In that silence, you will find clarity. In that silence, your inner voice will become louder than the doubts around you. In that silence, you will hear the truth about your purpose, your potential, and your path. Strengthening your inner voice requires intentional stillness in a world that never stops talking. Your inner voice grows stronger through reflection. Take time to reflect on your experiences, your choices, your successes, and your failures. Learn from your past, not in regret, but in wisdom. Ask yourself questions. What do I truly want? What values guide me? What decisions align with my purpose? The answers will not come from outside. They will come from within. And the more you reflect, the more your inner voice becomes a source of guidance, confidence, and discernment. Strengthening your inner voice also requires trust. Trust that the voice inside you knows your path better than anyone else. Trust that your instincts, your intuition, and your inner wisdom are powerful tools, even when others doubt them. Trust that your inner voice can lead you through challenges, conflicts, and uncertainty. And trust that when you follow it, you will be guided toward the life you were created to live. Doubt is the enemy of your inner voice. Trust strengthens it, sharpens it, and empowers it. Your inner voice is strengthened by action. Thoughts without action are powerless. Dreams without steps remain invisible. When you listen to your inner voice and then act on its guidance, it becomes stronger. Every choice you make aligned with your purpose amplifies your inner voice. Every step you take toward your goals validates it. Every time you trust yourself and move forward, you prove that your inner voice is not just a whisper. It is a powerful force capable of shaping your life. Strengthening your inner voice also means protecting it. Protect it from critics, naysayers, and distractions. Protect it from comparison, fear, and self-doubt. Protect it from the endless noise of a world that wants you to question yourself at every turn. Your inner voice is sacred. It is your compass, your guide, your strength. Guard it, nourish it, respect it. Do not allow anything outside of you to diminish it, silence it, or distort it. Every great person you admire, every visionary, every leader, every innovator, every revolutionary, they all had strong inner voices. They heard the call of their own purpose. Even when the world doubted them, they trusted their instincts. Even when critics shouted, they moved forward with courage, even when the path was unclear. Because they strengthened their inner voice, they became unstoppable. Their inner voice became louder than any external noise, stronger than any challenge, clearer than any doubt. Your inner voice is strengthened through consistency. You must listen to it daily. You must honor it consistently. You must practice tuning into it, even when the world is loud, even when distractions abound, even when it feels easier to rely on others' opinions. Strengthen it daily through meditation, reflection, prayer, journaling, or quiet contemplation. Strengthen it by making decisions aligned with your values, by speaking your truth, and by living authentically. The more consistently you honor your inner voice, the more powerful it becomes. Strengthening your inner voice also builds resilience. When life challenges you, when setbacks occur, when obstacles appear insurmountable, your inner voice reminds you to keep moving. It encourages you to rise after failure, to trust your process, and to have faith in your ability to overcome. A strong inner voice will not allow fear to dominate you. It will not allow doubt to dictate your actions. It will guide you through difficulty with clarity, courage, and confidence. And remember, your inner voice is not only for you, it is a beacon for others. When you strengthen it, you inspire others to strengthen theirs. When you trust yourself, you give permission to others to trust themselves. When you act on your inner guidance, you show the world that strength, clarity, and purpose are cultivated from within. Strengthening your inner voice is not only a personal victory, it is a contribution to the lives of everyone around you. So I say to you today, listen to your inner voice. Protect it, nurture it, strengthen it. Do not allow the noise of the world, the judgment of critics, the opinions of others to drown it out. Create moments of silence, reflect deeply, trust your instincts, act decisively, and remain consistent in honoring its guidance. Your inner voice is your compass, your strength, and your power. Strengthen it, and you will never be lost. When you strengthen your inner voice, you will find clarity in confusion, courage in fear, and determination in doubt. You will move forward with confidence, knowing that the direction you are taking is guided by the wisdom that resides within you. You will no longer be swayed by external opinions or the chaos of the world, because your inner voice has become louder, clearer, more powerful than anything outside of you. Strengthen your inner voice. Let it guide you. Let it empower you. Let it shape your life your decisions, and your destiny. And when the world shouts, when challenges arise, when the path seems unclear, you will stand firm, confident, and unstoppable. Because the voice that matters most is the one inside you. I want you to hear me clearly today. In a world full of talkers, full of promises, full of noise, there is a truth that too many people overlook. Results speak louder than words. You can talk, you can plan, you can dream, you can promise. Until action is taken and progress is made, those words are just sound, they are empty, and they carry no weight. The world does not remember what you said, it remembers what you did. The world does not celebrate intentions, it celebrates impact. And that is why results always speak louder than words. Many people spend their lives explaining themselves, defending themselves, trying to convince others of their potential, their ambition, or their vision. They fill conversations with plans, aspirations, and promises, but they fail to act consistently. They hope that if they talk enough, people will believe them. Let me tell you something, the world is not impressed by talk. The world is moved by action. The world is changed by results. Words can inspire. They cannot create. Only results have the power to transform lives, including your own. Results are the proof of commitment. Every promise you make is only as valuable as the effort you put behind it. You can tell the world that you are working hard. Until the work is done and the outcome is visible, your words are meaningless. Results are the evidence that you showed up when it was difficult, you persevered when it was tempting to quit, and that you invested in your goals when no one was watching. Results are tangible, undeniable, permanent in a way that words alone can never be. Too many people are distracted by appearances. They measure success by what people say about them, by recognition or by applause. But results are not dependent on opinion. Results exist whether anyone is watching or not. They exist because of consistent effort, persistence, and discipline. They are built quietly, deliberately, and steadily over time. Person who produces results does not need to convince anyone. They demonstrate their value through their actions and accomplishments. And this is the power of letting your results speak for you. Words can be hollow, results cannot. Words can be delayed, interrupted, or ignored. Results are undeniable. Results show up in your work, in your achievements, in your relationships, in your growth, and in the life you build over time. They reflect the effort, focus, and commitment you put into what matters most. Results are the ultimate form of credibility because they cannot be disputed. They exist. And when you focus on producing results, instead of making excuses, you gain respect, influence, and authority that words alone could never provide. Results also carry weight in accountability. When you take action and produce outcomes, you are accountable to yourself and to those around you. You cannot hide behind promises, justifications, explanations. You must deliver, and in doing so, you demonstrate integrity, reliability, and mastery. Words without action may mislead, but results reveal the truth. They tell the story of your discipline, your perseverance, and your ability to follow through. And over time, consistent results build a reputation that no amount of talking could ever achieve. Let me remind you, actions create momentum. Words without results stagnate. You can talk about your dreams for years, but until you take deliberate, consistent steps toward them, they remain nothing but ideas. Every time you act, every time you push forward, every time you move, despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty, you generate results that build credibility and create opportunities. Momentum is born in action, and results are the evidence that you are moving forward, even when the path is challenging. Results speak louder because they are visible, they are measurable, they leave an impact. Words can inspire temporarily, but results last. Results shape perception, influence decisions, and change circumstances. When you consistently produce outcomes, people begin to notice, not because you told them to, but because they see it. Actions create proof, and proof is more powerful than promise. Results leave a legacy. Words alone fade with time, but results remain. Results also teach lessons. Every action, whether it succeeds or fails, provides insight, experience, and growth. The pursuit of results forces you to confront challenges, adapt strategies, and refine your approach. Words can only theorize about what might happen. Results teach you what actually does happen. They give feedback that is honest, immediate, and undeniable. Those who focus on producing results become better leaders, wiser decision makers, capable problem solvers because they learn directly from their actions. One of the greatest lessons about results is that they build confidence. There is no substitute for the knowledge that you can follow through, that you can execute, that you can achieve what you set your mind to. Words may convince yourself and others temporarily, but results prove it beyond question. When you see the fruits of your labor, when your efforts create tangible outcomes, you gain a level of confidence that is unshakable. Confidence born from results cannot be shaken by criticism, doubt, or skepticism because it is based on reality, not perception. Do not waste your energy trying to convince the world with words alone. Stop explaining, stop defending, stop promising without action. Instead, focus on doing, creating, and producing. Focus on the work that moves you closer to your goals. Focus on solving problems, building skills, and overcoming challenges. Focus on delivering outcomes that matter. Let your results be the evidence of your effort, your discipline, and your commitment. Let your results tell the story that words cannot. Remember, results are the ultimate testimony. They are visible to those who matter and undeniable to those who doubt. They transcend opinion, criticism, and skepticism. They reveal character, commitment, capability. They show the world who you really are, not who you claim to be. And the beauty of results is that they speak without arrogance, without ego, without the need for explanation. They simply exist, and their impact is felt by all who encounter them. So I say to you today, do not be consumed by the need to talk, to explain, or to defend yourself. Do not let the noise of opinions, criticisms, distractions keep you from taking action. Focus on producing results. Let your work, your achievements, your discipline, and your perseverance speak louder than any words. Let your life be the proof of your commitment, the evidence of your potential, testimony of your purpose. When you live this way, the world will notice, not because you boasted, not because you explained, because your results demand recognition. Your results will inspire others. Your results will create opportunities. Your results will leave a legacy that words alone could never achieve. Talk less, do more, work quietly, move steadily, deliver consistently. Your results speak louder than any explanation, promise, or claim ever could. Results are power. Results are proof. Results are your voice in a noisy world. Strengthen them, protect them, build them, and let them speak for you. Because in the end, actions always outweigh words, and the life you build through results will be remembered long after the noise has faded. There is a dangerous temptation in this world, a temptation to seek the approval of others, to chase applause, to measure your worth by likes, follows, compliments, or recognition. And while popularity may feel good for a moment, it is fleeting, shallow, and often deceptive. True fulfillment, true impact, true greatness comes when you choose purpose over popularity. Purpose is not impressed by approval. Purpose is steady, focused, and enduring. Purpose is the reason you were created, the calling that burns inside your heart, the contribution you are meant to make that no one else can replicate. Popularity, on the other hand, is fleeting. It depends on others. It is conditional. It is fragile. And when you chase it, you will always be vulnerable to disappointment, distraction, and compromise. Many people confuse being liked with being significant. They bend, they adjust. They dilute their message, they change who they are just to fit in or gain acceptance. But the truth is this being liked is temporary. Being purposeful is eternal. Popularity may bring comfort, but purpose brings power. Popularity may bring attention, but purpose brings fulfillment. Popularity may win applause, but purpose wins legacy. And the problem is popularity often asks you to give up your calling, your integrity, and your true self in exchange for approval that may disappear as quickly as it came. It requires conviction. It requires a willingness to stand alone when necessary, to speak truth even when no one applauds, and to move forward even when the crowd disagrees. Purpose demands that you remain authentic, that you honor your values, and that you focus on the work that truly matters rather than the attention it brings. It requires a kind of discipline that is rare in a world obsessed with image, status, and recognition. Purpose over popularity also demands patience. You cannot measure your success by how quickly people notice you or how many validate your journey. True impact is rarely instant. It is built quietly, consistently and intentionally. The small, faithful steps you take today, aligned with your purpose, are what lead to the significant results tomorrow. Popularity seeks immediate gratification, but purpose embraces the process, understanding that true influence and legacy are cultivated over time. Purpose over popularity also protects your energy. When you focus on pleasing everyone, you give away pieces of yourself to people who do not have your best interest at heart. You expend energy on approval that is often conditional, fleeting, shallow. But when you focus on purpose, you channel your energy into meaningful work, into growth, into impact that matters. Purpose aligns your actions with your values, protecting your spirit from the endless noise of comparison, criticism, and external expectation. Consider this. History is full of people who prioritize purpose over popularity. They were not the most liked. They were not always celebrated in their own time. Some were ridiculed, criticized, and misunderstood, but they remained faithful to their calling. They remained focused on what mattered, not what was fashionable. And in doing so, they changed the world. Popularity fades, legacy lasts, influence endures. And that is why purpose must always come before popularity. Popularity requires discernment. Not every opportunity, compliment, or platform is worth pursuing. Not every crowd trend or opinion should influence your decisions. The world will constantly try to redirect you toward attention, validation, or status, but discernment allows you to stay aligned with your mission. It allows you to distinguish between what is fleeting and what is meaningful, between what is surface level and what is life-changing. Purpose guides your decisions, while popularity tempts you with distractions. Choose wisely. Choosing purpose over popularity also builds integrity. When you prioritize purpose, you refuse to compromise your values, no matter how tempting recognition or approval may be. You speak truth even when it is unpopular. You take actions that align with your convictions, even when others disagree. And over time, integrity becomes your reputation, your influence, and your strength. Popularity may bring temporary admiration. Integrity backed by purpose brings lasting respect. Purpose over popularity also cultivates resilience. When your focus is on being liked, criticism and rejection can feel devastating. Every negative comment, every disapproval, every setback feels personal. But when your focus is on purpose, criticism is reframed, challenges become lessons, obstacles become opportunities to grow, setbacks become training grounds. Purpose allows you to endure, to persevere, and to continue even when the world does not applaud, because your vision is bigger than approval, bigger than attention, bigger than the fleeting validation of others. Purpose over popularity brings clarity. Popularity confuses. Popularity distracts. Popularity often leaves people scattered, unsure of their priorities, and driven by external metrics instead of internal truth. Purpose, however, gives direction. Purpose creates focus. Purpose gives a reason to rise every day, to pursue, to persist, and to live intentionally. When you operate from purpose, you are no longer swayed by public opinion. You are no longer dependent on likes, applause, or validation. You are driven by your calling, guided by your vision, strengthened by your conviction. And let me remind you, pursuing popularity is dangerous because it is dependent on others. Others' opinions, approval, others' recognition, they are not guaranteed. Popularity can disappear in a moment. Popularity can be influenced, manipulated, misunderstood. Purpose, however, is internal, consistent, and enduring. Purpose is yours. Purpose cannot be stolen, silenced, or taken away. Purpose guides you when the world changes, when trends shift, and when recognition fades. That is why you must always prioritize purpose over popularity. So I say to you today, do not chase applause. Do not bend to trends. Do not dilute your message to fit in or be accepted. Focus on your calling. Focus on your impact. Focus on the work that matters, the contribution that lasts, and the legacy that endures. Let purpose guide your decisions. Purpose shape your priorities. Let purpose define your success. When you do this, popularity becomes irrelevant because you are no longer living for approval, you are living for impact. Purpose over popularity is the path to authenticity, fulfillment, and lasting influence. It is the choice to honor your calling above the noise, to live intentionally rather than reactively, and to leave a legacy that speaks long after the applause has faded. Popularity may bring temporary recognition, but purpose brings meaning, fulfillment, and life that truly matters. Choose purpose over popularity. Commit to your calling. Honor your values. Focus on what matters most. Walk steadily. Work diligently. Serve faithfully. And let the life you build be proof that true greatness is not measured by how many applaud, by how deeply you impact the world.